name's Zack. I've been homeless since April of last year, so 2023. I'm originally from Edmonton. So I've been clean. I've been struggling with addiction my whole life and mental illness. I've been clean the majority of the last 12 years, but I have a cycle where every couple of years I relapse. I was in a 10-year common law relationship which ended last April as a result of one of my relapses. And after that, my life completely tanked. That relationship broke me, losing my family. You know, like I had a normal life. I was an electrician, made good money, you know, dog, I raised birds, hobbies, you know, family. And after that relationship ended, like in a matter of one night, I lost everything, right? And I haven't been able to cope, you know. I think I did my first line of cocaine when I was 14. I was a 16-year-old functioning coke addict. I did my first hit of crystal meth, I think when I was 17. But I've always struggled with mental illness, but I used the drugs to cope. And anyways, long story short, I spent my 20s in prison as a result of stealing cars and breaking enters and robberies and shit to support my cocaine habit, right? It's not safe down here, okay? Like, just to hang out downtown and to be homeless downtown is not good. You will get robbed. Something eventually bad will happen. It will either be from other homeless people or occasionally normies like to get drunk and beat on us, right? You know? I usually don't hang out with groups of other homeless people just because their problems become your problems, you know. And personally, like, I don't like what I'm doing. So if I'm with somebody and I see myself in them, it makes it hard, right? So I'm kind of been on a cycle lately where like I go on these binges, like 4 or 5 day binge. I run myself into the ground, and then either I'll go to detox for a week or I'll end up in the hospital. Because I do suffer from mental illness. Suicidal ideation is a huge part of my story. I've intentionally tried to kill myself 4 times. Came very close to death each time. Ventilator, you know, in the ICU. Like, it hasn't been good, right? Yeah, some shit went down when I was younger. That definitely affect me to today. There's a constant theme with my relapses, right? Fear of abandonment, fear, you know, this all time, you know. I do suffer from PTSD, nightmares and shit. That's why I have a hard time with the shelters, right? Because if I sleep and they're stirring and things like that around me, I get sleep paralysis and I scream. I got kicked out of detox because of it. So that's how you go to the DI. They'll go to health, right? And like I was at the DI yesterday to have a shower and wow. Basically you walk in the door like to get in. There's like 4 or 5 people fucking smoking like right there, right? Like it's not a safe place, especially if you don't have groups. If you don't have a group, you don't have friends, right? This isn't my life, right? You know? Really? I just remember one morning packed my hockey bag up. I was 13. Put all my clothes in a hockey bag. And he drove me to social services, you know. He's up there, right? You know? I feel like I was a kid and I had problems. And I was expected to fix them. I was expected to know how to fix them. And I feel like my family put the onus on me to know what to do. I was a fucking kid, right? You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, and then I became very angry and frustrated because I didn't know what was going on. So I started acting out, right? Started stealing, running away, you know, and here's who I was. I mean, I think I first tried to kill myself when I was 14, overdose. I was the kind of kid that I could show up to class, write the final, and get a 7. Without even trying. You know, I could have been anything I wanted. Could have been a dog, you couldn't be there. Very, very smart when I was younger, very smart. You know, but I didn't have the proper structure and support, right? And I don't blame my parents, it was just how it was, right? There was an incident at a group home Uh, I don't really like. It didn't really traumatize me. It was fucked up. And I want to do with kids, you know, make sexual advances towards me, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, that wasn't really. I think the thing about trauma is, you know, it's not what happened, it's how it affected you, right? Like some horrific things happen to people, and it has an effect on them, right? But you can't compare, you know, your trauma to theirs, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, things could have been different for me growing up. I don't know. It's like, now what am I gonna do? I'm 43. I fucking lost everything that I've loved. I've destroyed my life completely. I don't really have much to hope or live for. I can't. I lost control completely, right? Crystal meth's cheap, really cheap. $60 is like, is too much for 4 days, okay? You could get by, you know, like $20-$30 crystal meth. You know, it's cheap, right? And that's like, you're doing a lot, right? You know, so I need to get my medication. So yesterday I went to get my medication because I'm on an antipsychotic, and they somehow cut off my medical benefits, so I didn't have coverage, so I wasn't able to get my medication. So too many days without that, and then the psychosis takes over, and then you see Crazy Colin talks to himself, and psychosis is completely taken over in my life. It's an altered reality. People are like, "Oh, what do the voices say?" It's not voices. It's like an altered reality where I live in a completely different world than you, and that there's a lot of scenarios and things happening, and you know, people walk past me and they call me names, and people drive by and they call me names, and some of it real, some of it's not, right? And it controls my life, right? There's some gaps in the healthcare system. They've tried to help me as much as possible. I was in the Lougheed for a week, and I felt great, but they got nowhere to send me. I can't go to the Dream Center because I'm not clean. That's where I was staying, right? So, because I'm using, I don't have the right to have a place to live, right? And that's the way things are. That's the way the system is set up, you know. And in some cases, I think, you know, that's good motivating factor to get people to clean. But there's some hard cases like myself that like will struggle severely, and not for like, this isn't a party for me, right? When I relapse, it's not like a Las Vegas bachelor party, strictly jumping on the cakes. I'm having the time of my life. It's fucking self-harm. It's torture, okay? It's straight torture. It's not fun by any. I mean, there's some degree of it where I get a sense of relief, but then I become completely tortured, you know? So it's like, see, I traded a beautiful life for this, the street, you know, to be alone by myself. It's Easter Sunday, completely alone, you know? And some people think like, yeah, I made a choice when I was younger, right? I made a choice to do drugs, yeah. And I think where my mistake is today is that, so I was, a year ago I was in school. I was at Bow Valley College. I was taking IT. This was just finishing my second semester. Got the world by the balls. And I'm laying in bed and I want to kill myself, right? Out of nowhere, like depression, anxiety, right? And rather than reach out and ask for help, you know, I chose to get high, right? And that's one thing that I wish parents would teach their kids, and what they would teach in school is teach kids how to ask for help, how to talk about their feelings, how to be honest, right? Because I wasn't afforded that luxury when I was younger to be able to communicate what was going on, and I think that's my biggest problem today, right? You know, as of the generation, the boys don't cry and suck it up, and, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like your dad wasn't too keen on talking about his feelings either.
He'd get mad. Like if I was having a problem and I brought it up to him, he didn't know how to handle it, right? Because he didn't get that. So he would get very upset and uptight and he'd get pissed off, right? You know, it was like a fucked up situation. So the longest period of sobriety I had was 6 years. That was continuous sobriety. That was back in from like '09 to 2015. And then I've had a couple of years, like multiple years, a few times. And that was like through AA, and I would do good for some time, but then certain things happen, right? And it's a reoccurring, like you said, the depression, the anxiety, but it's like a spiral where I just like I don't feel good enough. I don't, I have this like this really like negative view of myself, and I struggle with that. Usually something triggers it, and then I just lose control, and I just completely spiral to where like I'm so miserable that I know if I get high, I can change how I feel, right? And I fucked up. Like I had a good life. I had a really good life. Like my partner, we were best friends, and she supported me and she believed in me 100%. And and I let her down, right? I couldn't get it together. And she gave me so many chances. Well, we barely talked, and I didn't get any closure from that relationship. When it ended, I went on the worst bender of my life, on the fentanyl, and completely just like I said, I've tried to kill myself multiple times. No, I don't. I'm proud of her. I don't blame her, right? She believed in me more than I believed in myself. She loved me more than I loved myself. And I feel guilty. I robbed 10 years of her life, because she had goals and dreams, and I just would. In 2 years, I'd relapse, and they just put us back 2 years. You know what I mean? We could have bought a house, kids, and all kinds of shit. And okay, so the goal is Claire's home concurrent disorder, dual diagnosis. I have some legal issues I got to deal with as a result of a shoplifting charge from last summer. Once that's dealt with, off to Claire's home concurrent disorders, DBT, right? Learn how to deal with this sober, right? I tried to get in there this week, but because of those legal issues, I wasn't able to, right? Like the goal was I would go in there right now. Goal is stay alive, hopefully get into detox, try not to go to those dark places where I kill myself. I tried to kill myself 2 nights ago. Here I am today. The problem is with AHS is everything's a referral, and you gotta, like, your life is so chaotic where you don't have a phone or an address or wait for people to get a hold of you, and you're in this mess. There's kind of this expectation that you need to be at a certain level of stability, and your life has to be somewhat manageable to be able to pull some of that shit off, right? And I'm going to tell you, like, I've lost control, right? Like, I can't even manage my wallet. I lost my wallet again. I can't fuck a phone. I can't even manage a toothbrush some days. So to be able to like get the referral and have somewhere where they can get a hold of you, it's difficult, right? So for me, the best bet is the ER and the short-stay mental health units, and that's the plan, right? Deal with my legal issues, go there, and they promise me they'll get me to Claire's home, right? So because I hadn't seen the back of the cop car since '09, right? That's the last time I got in trouble. So, I mean, so I'm just trying to keep. I think harm reduction. I know a lot of people are against it, and they don't want to. You know what? It's not fair that if someone's clean and then they relapse, they're instantly homeless, and now their life's like which happened to me. Like, I had a place to live, I slipped, I'm homeless, and as a result of being homeless, I chose to get high again because I'm on the street, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I got nowhere to go. So I think harm reduction is huge. I think they need to create safe places for people, that where they can maintain some sort of stability in their life and be able to, you know, keep it together, right? Because, yeah, I mean, they need more treatment centers, okay? So in the city of Calgary, we have Renfrew. They just opened a new detox at the DI, and then they have Alpha House, okay? So you have 3 detoxes, okay? So you send somebody to detox. I remember like one time, like when I first kicked fentanyl, I was at Renfrew, and everyone's cheering me on. Yay, Colin! You know, 7 days you did it, and it's like, okay, 7 days clean. Now what? You're kicking me out back to the street. I got nowhere to go. Like, so like, what's the point? What's the point in having 3 detoxes if you got nowhere to send people? You know what I mean? They need more treatment beds, definitely. And I think they're moving in the right direction. I think things are getting a lot better than it used to be. But I think City of Calgary is very hostile and judgmental, especially to people like me. I feel at times, you know. Yeah, I can see the look of disgust and the, you know, and people. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I look batshit crazy, but I'm lucid and I'm very polite, and I love to have conversations with people, and I like to be friendly and helpful, and like, you know, because that makes me feel good about myself, and makes me still feel human. And when people treat you like a, you know, inhuman, you begin to feel that way, right? You know, and you know, a smile and a kind word can have a huge effect on somebody's life and day, like more than you know. Like to a street person, if someone acknowledges them, says hi to them, and just says something nice to them, that can make or break them. You know what I mean? Like that could. Again, I've been in situations like that where someone's been nice to me, and like it reminded me that I was still human, and it, you know, I started making better decisions for myself. I started taking care of myself, right? You know, yeah. I mean, that's huge, right? I always hope that I made a lot of changes in my life. So, you know, I would go to work and come home, and I would go to A, and then like I knew I needed to handle my mental health, but I just was hoping and praying and just wishing that it would just, you know, take care of itself, right? Hence here I am.
Don't give up, man.
Try not to. Try not to.